Shalom and greetings to you all. Now, the other day was Simchat Torah, and we all use the term Simcha. And what it really means is gladness or happiness, and we've applied it to occasions, and we refer to parties or celebrations as Simchas, because they're full of rejoicing. So the holiday of Simchat Torah is the rejoicing of the instruction. We dance, we sing, we express joy. Now, to some, we celebrate that we finally finished reading it, but to others, we celebrate that we have taken it into our lives. Teachings, histories, laws, rituals that are based in ethics and morals and decency in a way to love and live life. Now, however you take it, remember that throughout our reading of the Torah, we are taught certain things and certain keys to excellence and happiness. And friends, these include things like become more mindful. When you do, you become less detached. Become more approachable, and therefore you're less exclusive. Become more graceful, and you'll be a little bit less judgmental. Become more bold, or bolder in proper grammar, and therefore less fearful. Become more self-giving, and therefore less self-absorbed. Now, those are all fantastic things. Think about those, and maybe we'll do a whole session on them. But expanded awareness opens us to a real relationship with others and with the world around us. We're nourished and enriched by the pleasure and wonder of each moment. Friends, when we relax and allow awareness to expand, we become less caught up in whatever has magnetized our attention. As a result, we will suffer less, and these are the things that we can always be working on. Now, this holiday is celebrated at harvest time, and that too is apropos. So in the season of harvest, consider how you have reaped what you have sown in your life, because it's what we do. And just as we gather at the end of the Sukkot to celebrate the Torah, every week we all gather and come together as a community, a like-minded, like-souled unification of spirit, the collective consciousness of seekers, coming together in a showing of faith, of love, a community, a chavura, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know, physically, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov, Shevet Ahim Gam Yachad. Hine Matov, Shevet Ahim Gam Yachad. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, 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 together. And as a community, let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the entire world. Every week we gather to show gratitude and give thanks for the things that we have as we ritualize life. We light our candles, share a cup of wine, a piece of bread. These represent the gifts of life and the sustenance and fellowship that we really observe daily, but especially honor every week when we are told to remember and observe the Sabbath. Now, but remember, friends, this is simply you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to talk to whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. It's a part of your kavanah, your intentions, your goodwill to the universe. And let's send some of that goodwill out now to everybody. Let's invoke healing and renewal for everybody you know and for the souls and spirits of everyone you know. So think of whoever needs healing and renewal and love or just goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is for the healing of the earth, the tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. And even though we're starting with clean slates, we should still express our wishes for health and renewal for everyone in need. Okay, for those in our hearts and our minds, for Ben, Bob, for Veronica, for the soul of poor Aubrey, for the bee, and for Michael, my good friend, who needs some birthday healing. Friends, it is the kindness, healing wishes, goodwill, and love that we all send out that circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit never dies. Avotenu B'korcha bracha Limotenu source of strength. Bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Yishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed, every one of us, my friends. That's a great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as he has healed before me. Yishaberach, may he who blessed. And life is full of blessings. So let's all send out and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. And remember, friends, do not count life by how many breaths you take, but what takes your breath away. Let the abundance of joy and happiness in your life take your breath away. Now this week, we're actually going back to the beginning. When I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slide, where I stop and I turn and I go for a ride, till I get to the bottom and I see you again. Yeah. Well, we see each other again as we read Bereshit, the first parsha of the first book of the Bible, Genesis, a book about creation, about man, about light. Waking light. A profiling shadow. Waste yourself to the morning low. Night is gone, a long way turning. You've waited long enough to know. Now that was from Beck's Waking Light. And maybe we have waited long enough to know. So welcome everyone to the most complicated book of all time. We don't just read it. We've read it, we've edited it, we've digested it, we've argued over it, we've fought over it, we've killed over it, and we do irreparable harm in its name. The book, the Bible, Biblos in Greek, Torah in Hebrew, the book of instruction. Now, we know this book that we're going to start reading. It's made up of 5 books, and the first one is we know it as Genesis. The Greeks gave names based on the theme, but Torah scholars know it as Bereshit, because the Hebrew method was to name based on the first words, and that's the first word of this parsha. And there are people who, if you say the Hebrew name, they'll not know that it's the same book. And you have huge misconceptions about how this book begins. Many will tell you it's about creation. How from nothing God created the universe. Would that it were so simple. My friends, this book is about separation and division. From start to finish. Every book, every section, every law, every ritual is going to be about separation and division all the way through it. Now in Genesis 1, where we're starting, there was a mass floating out there in the cosmos. And the only thing that God actually creates in this entire section, ex nihilo, from nothing, is light. Light. Now, where would we be without light? You know, we think everything is clear when we have light. Light is one of our greatest friends. I was a fool to wander and stray, for straight is the game, narrow the way. Now I have traded wrong for the right. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light. I saw the light. No more in darkness, no more at night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow in sight. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. Hey, if nothing else, God's creation of light is all we needed. And all we really need, isn't it? So why can't we see so well? Why can't we see so clearly now if we have light? So where do you begin with a book that begins in the beginning? What a book this is. What a first parsha. From the twin tales of creation, the story of the first sin and expulsion from the garden, the first murder and the damage of sibling rivalry, still with us to this day, the beginning of civilization and man's attempt at reaching the heavens, the wickedness of humanity and God's regret, to meeting Noah. How do you pick one thing out of all of that to talk about? And all of that is just in this first section, in this first week. You could spend most of the year just studying this opening parsha. Certainly between this and the second, the flood story, which concludes what can be referred to as the cosmic part of the Bible, as we go from the big picture of the universe to studying a family, from the expansiveness of everything to the examination of the foibles of man and how he learns to overcome them. You could spend the entire year on these two parshas alone. Friends, the first portion of the Torah has a double role. It conveys its own story, and it sets the context of the entire Torah. The Torah's stories have been observed to be rich in background, as opposed to, for example, the epic poems of Homer. In Homer, each episode is a self-contained episode. All the information that a reader needs is provided then and there in each section. All action is in the foreground. And that's great, but that's not the way the Torah was designed. To read the Torah at any level, beyond just the simple Sunday school level, you have to have a sense of the whole when one reads the individual parts, which is why it's so easy to go back and read it again. To comprehend what happens in the Exodus and in the Revelation at Sinai, you have to know what happened in Genesis 1. Well, the first portion initiates the historical flow of the Torah. It established that this is to be a related linear sequence of events that stretches throughout generations. Now, the ancient world did not write history prior to these accounts. This was a new way to conceive of time and human destiny. This was also a new way to conceive of a God. See, the pagan deities were known through their functions in nature. The sun god, Shamash, was the sun, but the God of the Torah was different, creating all of nature, and therefore not knowable or identifiable through any one element of nature. It is a book in which the essence of this God remains hidden from the beginning. One does not know God through nature, but by the divine acts through history. One never finds out what God is, but rather what God does and what God says. And friends, we're really at the beginning of a book of questions, not a book of answers. Barashit bara Elohim et hashamayim va'et haaretz. In the beginning of the gods creating the skies and the earth, when the earth had been shapeless and formless, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the God's Spirit was hovering on the face of the water. Well, right away we're challenged. The word Elohim, the plural of God. Gods. Why? Is this the gods? Well, as monotheists, we make the plural equal to the singular. But you can search the Torah and see where God is singular and where he is plural, especially in this first parsha. So how do you know? How do you know if this is God or the gods? And that's not even the complicated part. Although in the second telling of creation, this plural rears its head again in a huge way. Well, that's seen. Next is something that's unseen, which changes how we have actually understood and translated this amazing chronicle. See, it's a tiny point of grammar that makes a difference for theology. In the Hebrew of this verse, which I read, the noun comes before the verb. And that's now known to be the way of conveying the past perfect tense in biblical Hebrew. So this point of grammar means that this verse does not mean the earth was shapeless and formless, referring to the condition of the earth starting the instant after it was created. No, this verse instead means that the earth had been shapeless and formless. That is, it had already existed in this shapeless condition prior to the creation that we're reading about. Creation of matter in the Torah is not out of nothing, as many have claimed for all these years. And the Torah is not claiming to be telling events from the beginning of time. Now, how is that? A grammatical difference in a book without grammar. That we question right off the bat. Now, that's the first two lines. And then we have Vayomer Elohim Yahior Vahior. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. That is, my friends, the only creation. All the rest is what God does next. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God separated between the light and the darkness. The rest of this book is separation. Yes, the world is sacred, and so is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life, my friends, and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light, and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. And end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do, learn to forgive, learn to love, including but especially yourself. Open your hearts and honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week. A week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion all that happens in our lives, my friends. Our intention, our kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what is good and bad, so acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you have wronged, and ask forgiveness. And do so with sincerity, with accountability, with vulnerability. And forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. Because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life just as it is on any given day without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land, your home. We all are moving towards it. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill throughout your life. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle. As I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year, and may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. And work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of your real power lies in your consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Make the most of your time and continue to touch and transform the lives around you. You're never alone. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Friends, your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous, bless others, bless yourself. Love with the heart. We're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger, and be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief, and do not accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you have experienced, others have too. We share together, we learn together, we help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them and tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Watch your words. They hurt you, they heal you, they imprison you, and they free you. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive. It's a really important thing to do. And keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. We need to do that too. And take advantage of the light you have and keep looking into the light. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. Gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. And friends, for you there is nothing but blue skies. You can see clearly now. All you need is the light. Now, blessings to you all. See you next week. Shabbat shalom, and have a fantastic time. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.